fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille, Counterpunch Boxing News, and I am live once again. This is the late night talk. I know a lot of you guys are asleep at the moment, but I am not. I just woke up. I was up earlier, had some lunch, had some more lunch, and now I am back in stride, you know? So, I am so glad that, we got action, people. People, we got action. There is Policia. Okay. Shout out to Williamson County, one of the strictest sons of bitches on this side of the Mississippi, I might add. But it is what it is. Well, let's talk about some boxing, people. Just chilling out. I'll let the chat load. Hell, if it's anything to load, if anybody knows I'm live, which they probably don't. But when you guys, if you will, when you come in, hit the like button. We had some news today, so I guess yesterday for a lot of you, about Frank Warren and his plans for Mr. Triple D Dubois, and what he intends to do, who he wants Daniel to fight, what the IBF did, It's quite interesting, actually. I think that Frank has plans after Daniel Dubois. I mean, he should, because Daniel's young, And people, don't get me wrong. It's not that I have anything against Daniel Dubois. I wish him all the best. I think that Daniel Dubois, because he's been pushed, he's been pressured, he's been ridiculed from his last event with Joseph Parker, I think it's going to put a new fire up under him. I think it's going to make him angry. And then I think one thing about Daniel Dubois, he needs to have some type of adversity. He needs to be talked about. He needs to be heckled. You know what I'm saying? And I think because he was heckled, because of the Joseph Parker incident, I think he's going to actually do better. In fact, guys, Joseph Parker could be the reason why, Daniel Dubois will win, because he will have a fire. He will have a certain type of mindset, thinking that people thought he ducked Joseph Parker. So that being said, it'll be a situation like, hey, I'm mad now. I'm pissed now. When AJ, he was the underdog, and the underdog did what he needed to do to get the win, because everybody thought that AJ was going to get it in. Bars. Those are the type of things that I'm talking about. So, yeah, Joseph Parker probably did him a favor, so it is what it is. I think that Joseph Parker is a guy that he will get his just due one day. It's just, here's the thing about Joseph Parker. He's not a terribly old guy, but he's not a young guy either, so I think because of that, that's what we have. He's like stuck in the middle. He's like one of those guys that, how old is Joseph Parker? 33? Joseph Parker may have 2 more years, and the sad thing about it, Joseph Parker it may take him 2 years to get his shot. I hope not, but I hope I'm just exaggerating, but I think they will find a way to, I think they will find a way to definitely hold him back and let somebody else get that win or get it in or whatever, Michael Fuller, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you, the first man on the chat. Man, like sometimes the chat jacks up. YouTube jacks up. They all do little silly shit, So I have to refresh the chat filter So we got Michael Fuller, the first man on the chat of tonight, the late night chat. Man, how's everybody doing? When you guys come in, let's get interactive. You know, you guys are just coming and looking and seeing and viewing. Hey, let's get interactive. That's the whole point. You know, ask questions. Tell me where you're from. Give me a shout out. I'll give you a shout out. Hit that like button. Let's get it in. Let's get excited again. Let's make boxing great again on Counterpunch Boxing News, because this motherfucker used to be lit. Then it looks like I have to sweep up cobwebs and shit. Bro, your OnlyFans account is fire, by the way. I don't have an OnlyFans account. Michael Fuller, who do you have with Crawford versus Canelo? I'm going for Crawford. I've always went for Crawford. I will go for Crawford. Now, I do understand the dangers of Canelo versus Crawford, but I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going for Crawford. I think Crawford is a special fighter. I think Crawford is a little special fighter versus Canelo being a bigger, good fighter. That's how I look at that Canelo versus Terrence Crawford deal. Can you give me a shout out? Hello, 123. Hello, 123. I love you too. Hello, 123. Counterpunch to thee. Bars. Hello, 123 in the building, people. Oh, man. So there's your shout out. I hope you got it. But yeah, it's a trip, man. This is like a new area, so it's, I don't know, it feels different, you know. So recently, if you guys don't know, I helped a friend move. Bro, moving sucks, you know. Bars. Yeah, man. So, but yeah, Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford is going to be a good fight. And I think, see, here's the problem with that. You can't have a fight with Canelo, beat Canelo, and it not be another fight. The only problem with Floyd is Floyd was such a cash cow to the point where there was no rematch clause, probably in his defense, but, you know. Okay. Yeah. Only way Crawford loses is he bangs too early with Canelo, takes too much punishment. Well, you have to understand something about Terrence Crawford, though. And what people will find out, we'll find out on the day. When Canelo Alvarez, see, Canelo's tricky because Canelo can land shots that you don't see coming. That's my only thing about Canelo. He'll land shots where you don't see those hooks, you know, those setup hooks, those bolo shots, those overhand rights, you know, especially if Crawford's in the southpaw stance. Yeah, he's going to go for a shot like that just to see what Terrence is going to do. Because if he throws and lands a shot like that, he could end the night early. See, one thing about Canelo, like, the reason he took the Khan fight and everybody went berserk when he decided to fight Amir Khan, and you guys know that. I don't know if you remember that far back. This was like 2015, right? So 2015, Canelo decides to take a fight with Amir Khan. Amir Khan has been looking, or had been looking, should I say, to fight or to land a marquee fight for a while. You remember the Floyd Mayweather poll went through. Floyd went with Maidana. The Manny Pacquiao fight fell through for Amir Khan, you know, so he was upset about that, you know, despite the viral sparring session they had together, if you guys can remember, when Khan was really competitive and was giving Pacquiao and spots of those sparring sessions the business, you know what I mean? He didn't get that, so he finally landed the Canelo fight. Well, the bad thing about Canelo was Canelo was supposed to fight Triple G. You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to fight Triple G. And people were calling him like, why would you fight Amir Khan? But they said it. His trainer said it. He said, well, Amir Khan can't take a punch, and that's what we're depending on, the power, and that's exactly what happened. As soon as he connected with Khan with the right shot, he was out. Round 6, Amir Khan was rendered unconscious. There is no... I wonder what they're doing with this dude over here. They might be taking him to jail. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Why is Parker wasting his time with Derek Chisora? I don't know. I just think Parker wants a fight, and I think he wants a fight knowing his position, and the devil right? So if Parker fights Chisora and he knows he's already beat Chisora twice, that would be a fight that somebody like Parker would take. Because he took on the Bakali fight, and he's took on the Deontay Wilders and the Zangs, and and he's done that. Where is the body? Okay. Why? Okay. Devin don't want none of Norman. Man, I seen Norman do that, man. I seen it, and it's like Brian Norman is a guy that I have never, I repeat, ever brought up on my channel, but he will be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to get out with the old and in with the new, and I think that's the problem with a lot of these fighters. You can't hold on to the same shit. Dillian White, gone. AJ, gone. Those guys are gone. Canelo will soon be gone. Crawford will be gone. You have new fighters to fill that slot. Tank will be gone in a few years if he doesn't decide to, retire. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are leaving. Jarrell Miller, Andy Ruiz, Dillian White. Those guys are in their mid-30s. Tyson Fury's walking around and looking like the last king of Scotland. And I thought that was Mark McCauley. That ain't Mark McCauley. That ain't Mark McCauley at all. Babby Henderson. Ew. Okay. Miss Hot Mama. Hot Mommy. Counterpunch to you. Hi. Yeah. But yeah, these guys, Brian Norman, the way he hit that boy and he hit that boy with a left hook, he was over with. It's crazy, man. That's some scary shit to hit somebody, man, and knock them spark out. It's a hell of a thing. Next big fight. I think it depends on what you call the next big fight. Definitely Canelo Dubois versus Usyk. That's the next big fight. I know Jake Paul is fighting Chavez Jr. I'm not getting that shit. I don't know. But if, like, this is what I see in that fight, just looking at that fight, Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. will get paid again. He needed some money, so he had to, he's a big boy too. He's a lot bigger than his daddy, the legend, but he's just an underachiever. Like, his career went to shit as soon as he got pieced apart by Sergio Martinez. And Sergio was like a guy that, he was a great boxer and everything. Maravilla was a great boxer, but he was, he showed why boxing is boxing. Sasaki is said to not remember the last month and a half of his memory. That's fucked up. Yeah, he shouldn't fight no more. Because that type of shit's scary. If you can't remember the last month and a half, shit, a lot of times you some shit you don't want to forget. Some shit you want to forget and don't. Just let Brian Norman hit you. Bow! You won't remember shit. Bottom line, Canelo has 2 more losses than are on his record. Triple G and Cuban. and has been suspended for PEDs. I think Terrence Crawford in and wins that fight. Michael Fuller, it should go the way it's supposed to. You know, all would be right in the world. Terrence Crawford will go down, one of the all-time greats. You know, just like I told you guys in the short that I posted. And it's crazy. If Terrence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez, what did Floyd do that Terrence didn't do? I'm not trying to shit on Floyd. I'm just asking a question. You know, besides, well, that's the 40. No, because he's 40-0 already. So that would have been his 41st fight. Besides 8 fights, 8 extra fights that Floyd has had, what has he done significantly better than Terrence Crawford at that point? Then you can ask that question in return. What has Terrence Crawford done other than Floyd in his career? That's simple. Become 3-time undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes. Priceless. You can't get any better than that. Fuck that 3-division championship, Michael Fuller. Pardon my French. He's 4. You know, 35, 40, 47. Wasn't it 54 as well? Then? It's 168? No. Floyd can't compare to that. Floyd didn't go anywhere past 154. In fact, he fought Canelo at 152 at a catch weight, and then tried to ridicule Pacquiao for fighting Cotto at a catch weight of 145 and Oscar de la Hoya at 145. Oh, he tried to rag all over Pacquiao. You guys remember? He tried to rag all over Pacquiao when Pacquiao came with that damn catch weight and catch weight. He fought Cotto. He fought Cotto at an unhealthy weight. Cotto was a big boy. Cotto's big boned, and you know I'm fighting Cotto at 154. I'm fighting him at his weight. That's why that shit was tougher for him, right? Right? Pacquiao stopped Cotto earlier in 2009 or 10. I think he fought him in 2009, 2010, I think. Frederick Williamson, counterpunch to you. Hi. Hello. Floyd will never admit it, but he was worried about Pac. Well, he was worried about Pac. His daddy was worried about Pac. Everybody was worried about Pac. Pac was a problem. See, it wasn't, Pacquiao was no longer a problem. He was a problem for about 3 years. Pacquiao was a problem for Floyd Mayweather for 3 years. You know when he wasn't a problem? When he got knocked out by Juan Manuel Marquez. As soon as that happened, they were all like, woo! Shit, I'm glad somebody knocked his ass out, because people were pressuring us and we wasn't really sure that we could beat that motherfucker. Yeah. So go do all shit. Hola, you espeje. It's Spanish. You espeje. Yeah, sometimes. EJ Santiago, Pacquiao is still fighting, I think. Yeah, he's fighting Mario Barrios, a dude that is like, Mario Barrios, like, it's crazy. He's looking down at Pacquiao. He can see Pacquiao's head. That shit looks crazy, and he's hella young. Not even everything you said is wrong. How did he admit he was the hardest opponent? I don't know if he said he was the hardest opponent. Pacquiao was a problem. He was a problem for a long time. And I'm not talking about when they fought. When they fought was like, shit, 6 years later. See, Floyd didn't understand what he was getting himself back into. He thought that he was going to come back to the sport and still be respected as he was when he left. Okay, because see, Floyd left the sport in 08 and then decided to come back in 09. And then the problem was he came on to ESPN, and that was his rude awakening. You guys, if you guys haven't seen the Brian Kenny versus Floyd Mayweather interview, it was hilarious. It was a treat to see. Brian Kenny showed Floyd Mayweather that, hey, yeah, this is how it's done. You know what I mean? Brian Kenny showed Floyd who was in charge and who people were rallying for at the time. Damn arm. Now it's starting to act up. He did admit he was the hardest opponent. I mean, he did admit it but at 2015, Manny Pacquiao was decent, but he wasn't where he was. But then again, I don't think Floyd was either. Uh-oh. Look at this, guys. You see that? Oh, they must have seen him coming in. Yeah. Cause I was like, okay. Damn. That's shitty, dude. You know that's all a scam too, though. Love to let that fucking guy go. They pull up on him in a fucking gas station. I guess they followed him here. They clocked him here. You either driving fast or whatever, you know. They coming to get you next, girl. No, they ain't. I mean, he looked over here, but I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm like, you're on live, cat. You're on live. Yeah, man. That's crazy. Let that man go. Because, I mean, he's sitting there with his foot like that. If that man was drunk, they would have knew he was drunk. They wouldn't have to ask him questions. They wouldn't have to do that stupid-ass test. And that test doesn't dictate how much you've had to drink or how competent you are to getting your ass home. You know, it's crazy. The people they don't catch are the ones that go out and kill whole families. That's the fucked up part. Who's Usyk gonna fight now? What? EJ Santiago. Usyk is going to fight Daniel Dubois next month. Yeah, I'm glad that I could help. What you up to, bossy? Israel new. Ah, man, just chilling out, just hanging out. Had to go live, man. Had to go live. It is... I have to do it before 12 because what I've been notified is YouTube only gives 3 notifications for 3 videos that you do at a time without algorithm assistance. So basically, if you guys have all of your alerts on, you should get out of 3, only 3. That includes bullshit shorts, the notifications. So me working like I work because I like making 5 or 6 videos because you can only I can't put everything into one video. I have to do because it's from different topics. Criminal justice system is legalized human trafficking. That's an older guy too, man. Yeah, they're gonna take him to fucking jail. They're talking to him too much, and he's there. Like, check it out. How you doing, big dog? I'm doing good. I'm just checking out this cop. En español, hablar con este muchacho, porque este muchacho, they think he's drunk. Look at him. Gabe Sewell, yeah, I am a fan of the peekaboo style. Let me zoom in. Look, they're getting this motherfucker to hold us. I couldn't do that shit if I wasn't drinking. Look, they get him to hold it up. Like, dude, nothing wrong with that dude. Do you see him fucking moving? I mean, maybe he had just bad balance, bro. Yeah, they're locking him up, dude. It's over. He's done. He's done. Yeah, I know that's stupid, isn't it? Because I mean, I don't know. I didn't see the whole test, but he looked like he's doing pretty good. Or he did pretty good. Yeah, dude, that's super shitty. That's super shitty, bro. Bro, and it's bad because it's like not against all law enforcement, never, no, but it's just I can't stand the stickler shit. I've always hated a stickler. You know what I mean? They had that dude doing all that shit. And that's an older dude, bro. That dude has to be at least in his probably in his 50s. You seen the gut on him, you know. People got that type of gut. He been eating good, drinking good. He got his fucking truck there. You know what I mean? They're gonna tow his truck, so he has to pay for get his fucking his truck towed. And yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah. And then they're taking him in. You know, and the crazy thing is I'm not even look where his truck is, right? Like think about it. His truck is parked, unless they told him to park it over there. Now, they might have said, hey, park your shit over here. You know, I think you're drunk. So, guess what? Let's check you out. Revelation TV, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. DUI can cost someone up to $8K with lawyers and everything. I never understood the lawyer shit, too, man. I had a good friend of mine down here in Austin that he paid like $5,000. I had a DWI like when I was 18. And the only problem was I wasn't 21, so I had to do all the bullshit. I had to do you have to watch tapes. You have to have so many hours. You have to see your probation officer. You have to take those classes, and each of those classes were like $20 a class. And you had to do like, I want to say 6 of them. You had to do 6 of them. And I did that shit. My ass, bro, fell asleep in the damn car. I was 18, you know, and I wasn't even really a like a you know, bad kid. I mean, I had a job and everything, you know. Hey, Kurt, what happened to Sanchez versus Hrgovic? Why FA now? Well, this is what I think. I think the IBF decided to change the rules, which was a good thing. Think about it. Hrgovic fighting Sanchez does nothing for Effie. Effie beating Martin McCauley morally, right? Morally beating him. Morally. That was not a draw. That was not a draw. So since that wasn't a draw, and Effie Ajagba did not tell Martin McCauley's fat ass to go to Saudi Arabia and fight Joseph Parker, that's been training like the Dickens to fight Daniel Dubois, the IBF champion. Nobody told him to do that. And since that's the case, it is what it is. Hey, I heard bottles fall open, so this motherfucker was probably wasted. But come on, I bet you was. So no, I think it's better. I think it was good for him. I think it was good for him. Nah, I'd seen shit fall out. I seen shit fall out. When they opened the car, I heard it fall. So he probably had beer and shit. He probably was a fucking drunk. Because again, I didn't see all of it. Yeah, he was fucking wasted. Because I see it all on the ground over there. But no, man. No, back to Efe Ajagba. Efe Ajagba deserved. See, this is what they should have done. Martin McCauley fighting Joseph Parker. He lost. But if he would have won, he would have became the WBO interim. Just like Joseph Parker, or the mandatory. It's the same thing. Mandatory and interim are the same thing. If you're mandatory, you're interim, pretty much. You know, except if you're Dillian, the body snatcher White. Right? But what did that do, or what did that have to do with Efe Ajagba? Efe Ajagba didn't tell Martin McCauley to go over there and get that fight. So why would he be deprived from the opportunity to become #1 IBF? That's why Frank Warren has said, look, whoever wins from Frank Sanchez and Efe Ajagba, it gives Ajagba the opportunity to get what he could have got fighting Martin McCauley before Martin McCauley took it upon himself and his greedy ass manager / trainer to go over and fight a healthy ass Joseph Parker. That's why. And you know who Mia Khalifa is. Okay. Agreed 100%. Sanchez may have a style that beats Efe in and out. Going in. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. It's probably harder for him to fight someone like Frank than McCauley. All I know is Efe has made adjustments. So let's see how good he gets. I didn't say he was going to necessarily win. You know what I mean? But I'm justice for anybody that deserves it. Efe Ajagba deserves it. Joseph Parker deserves it. If I was Efe Ajagba, though, I would be trying to go after Parker. But Parker knows better because Parker's seasoned. Parker's older. Parker's more experienced when it comes to picking certain fights. Why do you think he wants Derek Chisora for the 3rd time? What is he, Tyson Fury? Sure, he's an honorary Gypsy brother. Why wouldn't he? He's not doing that, fighting someone or calling out Efe Ajagba, because Efe Ajagba, for one, has nothing to offer him. For two, could be a complete banana peel. Okay? And that goes contrary or backwards or opposite of where he's trying to go. He wants Usyk. He wants Dubois. Okay? He wants those guys. He don't want the guys behind him. He wants the guys in front of him. Congo must have some food, good food. Man, shit, man. Yeah. Then you think about it. Martin McCauley was probably sitting in little cafes and shit or restaurants looking at stuff, talking to investors and all that shit, you know. Yeah. I seen the cop here and I was like, man, we got action. Congo must have some, don't drink and drive. Don't even drink water. Shit, I'm going to drink water. Has anybody ever made more excuses than Wilder? They say George Foreman did back in the day after Muhammad Ali beat him, especially his whole African experience. They said he made just as many excuses as Wilder back then. The only problem is that was way over 50 years ago. That was over 50 years ago when he fought, to be 51 years ago to be exact. So, you say, do you support Russia or Ukraine? I support Russia and Israel or Iran. I support Tran. The fuck. I don't talk politics because I don't know enough about them. Simple. Not a politician. I talk boxing politics. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those people you want to talk politics with because, I mean, I'd probably piss you off. Have you talked to Sanchez lately? Is his leg better? You know what? I have not. And I've said, man, I'm going to talk to him, holler at him. But I haven't. And I need to. You know, and, Frank just had a baby too, like last year or some shit like that. Oh, I think that's his buddy or his brother or some shit. The cops got Paco. They got him. He was drinking. You support habitual lion POS draft dodgers. I don't know what the fuck that means. Who do you got in Nick Ball versus Sam Goodman? I got Nick Ball. Nick Ball has showed me everything. I haven't seen much as Goodman. Man, but I'm glad you reminded me, you know. No, they're checking out his truck. They're checking to see if he got anything else in that sucker. Shucks. I got a cousin named Julio. And this cat, man, every time I go to his house, he got like 3 dogs and shit. And he drinks his Bud Light, and all he does is fucking watch cops. It's a trip, man. I'll go to his house, man, and he talks real fast. He's from California, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I'll be watching cops, man. Be watching cops in this motherfucker, man. But yeah, man, I'll be watching cops in this motherfucker, man. We've been just chilling like that, man. Motherfuckers be locking up, man. Motherfuckers be running and shit, be on crack and crank and shit like that, man. The speed and shit, motherfuckers be running. Them cops be fat ass cops be running and shit, eating donut crumbs, be falling all off their motherfucking ass, man. They be driving motherfuckers, man. They be trying to call, bitch. Some of them beat the shit out of motherfuckers, man. They beat the shit out of motherfuckers, man. They catch them, man. The cameras, man. They cut them cameras off sometime, man. They beat the fuck out of them, man. Shout out to Julio in the building. Police in America can be crazy, I've heard. Yeah. I mean, it's loopholes to each thing. Effie has been on a winning streak. He's not lost a fight since losing to Sanchez. Hope he gets his revenge now. Well, I hope any fighter that fights, that's young, gets his just due if he's trying. If he's trying to do the right thing, if he's trying to, yeah, that cop's checking out that truck. If he's trying to excel and advance to his full potential, yeah, I wish Efe Ajagba all the best. Efe Ajagba, I think he got like an infamous type of what is it? What do you call it? Reputation. Because he started talking shit about AJ. And, saying AJ's not Nigerian and he's not this and he's not that. And he's, I bet you that guy's in the back of that car drunk, sick. Ugh, he's probably laid out. But no, Efe lost to Frank Sanchez. Frank Sanchez lost to Caballel, and no one's beaten Caballel yet. So I think Caballel, bro, is that guy. I think he's that guy. And then what's going to happen, Caballel's going to be that one standing guy. And then the heavyweight division then will start looking for somebody with some fucking character to beat Caballel. Because it's going to be hell to beat him. Let's just be fair. To be fair, especially like he went through Zhang, he went through Sanchez, he beat out awkward, big, huge, bear hat wrestling ass Mark Madoff. Not Mark Madoff. Was it Arslan? Yeah, Mark Madoff. So he was able to do that. What up, Kurt? How you doing? You getting ready for the draft or what? What draft? What are we talking about? What is this draft shit? You guys enlighten me on what you're talking about. I'm lost. That boy Hitchens is nice. Yeah, Hitchens is nice, bro. Yeah, they're getting his truck and shit. Yeah. Yeah, they're taking his truck on and they say he was drunk and shit like that. But what's cool though, What's cool, what they could have done, they could have just took him, like locked him up and then let him go home. You know, like took him home. You know, so. But I think they let him get his truck. Can you stand still? I'm trying to bus. What the fuck? Well, Kurt, what are your thoughts on Paul versus Chavez? I think it's up to Chavez. If Chavez is serious, if he's just trying to get a check, he's going to let Jake Paul hit him with a shot and knock his ass out. You know? There is no money in taking him home. That's true. It's all a racket, bro. You know that. You think they give a shit? You know what I mean? That's why, people, I'm moving. I'm leaving the States. Sure, I'm going to work in the States, but I'm leaving the States. I'm moving to the Caribbean like next year sometime. It was supposed to be this year, but I'm moving next year. Kurt, did you watch Norman Jr. fight this morning? He's good. KO'd that Japanese boy. Yeah, I seen the, well, I mean, I seen the KO. I seen the highlight reels. I agree. This place is predatory capitalism at its worst. Yeah. You ain't got to worry about ice with me. Shit, I ain't going to go ice. I'm going to go nice. Shit, I'm going to go on my own accord. You know, don't let me fuck around and get dual citizenship. I'm gone for real. Because what I've noticed, I lived in Brazil for about 1.5 years. From the ass end of 14 to probably the first quarter of 16. And the crazy thing is, I was there, and it was different to the point where I lived in a place with my ex-fiance called Rio Comprido. Rio Comprido is a little section of Rio de Janeiro, right? Now, despite what you hear about Rio de Janeiro is dangerous. A lot of places are dangerous. You can go right here in Austin and get the shit shot out of you. You know, go over there by Airport Drive and see what happens to you if you're in the wrong place. That's pretty much anywhere. I have never, I mean, in that whole time there, I didn't experience anything shitty like that. But then again, I wouldn't roaming my silly ass around favelas either. You know, I wasn't doing that because, for one, I didn't know anybody there. Did I go to a favela? Yeah, I went to a favela when I needed to go because I knew someone there. But the thing is about favelas is, you go to a favela and something happens to you, it should happen to you. And reason why it should, because you're going there for no good reason. You're going there fucking around. Either you're going there trying to be tourist and be nosy, which you shouldn't do. Don't fuck around up there. Or you're going there for drugs or trouble that you shouldn't be doing either way. So what's the point? But seriously though, aren't Jake Paul and Logan Paul the American version of Jedward? If you don't know who I'm talking about, Google it. You're embarrassing as them. Too much corruption and greed. What country you thinking about in the Caribbean? Well, Barbados is nice. DR, I don't know. Jamaica's nice, but Jamaica's kind of weird with the shit they got going. But any of those places you buy, they don't have taxes like here. You'll pay more on taxes. I've seen people here. I used to live with this lady down here, an older lady. I used to stay with her when I used to work on a show about 6 years ago. She had an older house, and I don't know if it was a black neighborhood or not. I know it was an older neighborhood, but the problem was they gentrified the area, and when they gentrified the area, they made shops and malls and shit around her area. Well, the property value went up, so the tax went up. So that meant the taxes that she was paying, she had to pay higher taxes, and she was on a fixed income. So she couldn't even afford to pay for her fucking taxes because her taxes went from, I don't know, maybe $150 a month to maybe $600 or $700 a month. And it was like, well, damn. Well, if that's the case, why don't you just rent a house here? Buying a house is too much. Unless you're coming from California, you got a couple mil. And even if you got a couple mil, you better take care of the other. But who has a couple $1,000,000 to pay for one house and then rent another, or get two houses and rent one and live in one? Nah. So, and I've seen that, and a lot of that's happening in this area because the Californians are coming here and they're buying all the shit up, the Joe Rogans and all those, because they're like, oh shit, they got lakes, they got damn near legal weed, you know what I mean? You can do a lot of stuff. It's Texas, wide open space. You can buy all the houses you want, or all, bigger homes for twice as less. Yeah. Yeah, Martin Cooper, I know what you meant. I was like, damn, I'm embarrassing as them. Have you ever been to Curazo? No, I have not. I have not been to Curazo. What would you do what would you do if when you okay? So he said yes, would go. I don't know what the hell that means. But yeah, that's my plans, man. I mean, I've seen people, and people are fed up with the bullshit here. You seem like you could milk a boil gently. I don't know what the hell that means either. How many countries have you been to? Which ones? Canada, Mexico, Panama, Colombia, Peru, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Turkey, Ireland, Germany, and I think that's it. Barbados, if you want to count that. I mean, that's the Caribbean. Yeah. So. Ever thought about Africa? Yeah, I hear about Africa a lot, man. I dated an African girl for a while. Oh yeah, they're moving his shit now. So I guess that's his uncle or his cousin or something like that. Yeah, because they're taking his ass to jail. I thought of that because I hear, is it in Ghana? You can come there if you're African American or some portion of African American, something like that. The whole thing is, see, it's a controversy here. Like, well, how would they know if you had descendants from Africa? Could they use 23andMe and shit? You know what I mean? Shit. Really, what does that mean? What does that mean in retrospect? So I don't know. Yeah, he's driving that truck on. Yeah, that was a big dually, big pretty ass truck too. Cop pulled him over and shit. Dominican Republic is very nice. Yeah, it is. Like a right boil behind the knee, you seem like you could milk it bone dry. I don't know what that shit means. But you know what? I don't like it either. Shit. The fuck is a boil got to do with boxing? But anyway, so only Turkey is the only Asian country you've been to. Correct. Well, I'm going to Thailand next year for like 2 weeks. So I'm going to Thailand next year. So, there you go. But I mean, Dominican Republic is just like it's a place where I go all the time. And like I had a fiance there. She was actually originally from there. So I used to go there all the time anyway, from like over 15 years ago. You know what I mean? Even before all the trips where I wasn't, before the single trips, or the trips I go with, people, or I was going to DR. So DR's always been like a pretty cool spot. Yeah, just dumb shit, man. And, like the thing about late chats and shit, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, the cat had somebody to pick up his truck. So I don't know. Okay, Sanchez has ties to Canelo, so the fight may be in Canelo versus Crawford undercard. It could be, and that would be a fight that I would approve on that undercard. We need to bulk all this shit together. But nah, man, all bullshit aside, it's like F.A. Jogba is doing a very good job at what he's lately. But I mean, that was a pretty fight to see. You know what? I'm gonna go home and watch that shit. Watch F.A. Jogba take on Frank Sanchez. They don't have any obligations to the tow truck companies. Their loyalty is with the lawyers and courts. That is where the money is made. Well, no, I mean it's a trickle down thing because they don't have to. They don't have to have any loyalties to tow truck companies, but tow truck companies get paid based on the person that owns the fucking tow truck. They're gonna get $150 for towing. So you think somebody that's asleep right now, do you think he's gonna miss $150 or $200 just to pick up somebody's fucking truck that was caught drunk driving? Hell no, they won't. They're gonna come, they're gonna pick that shit up, and they're gonna take it to the impound, and they're gonna get paid. So yeah, it's a trickle down process. A couple $100, bro. Think about it. You make this is how you look at it. 6 figures. That's $300 a day. That's 6 figures. That's 100 grand, $300 a day. They don't have any. Okay, you already said that. Bro got Steve-O swamp ass. What's your main reason for wanting to move? I work in Atlanta enough. I don't want to live there. The traffic is different. It's stupid. New York, don't want to live in New York. Louisiana, I've lived in New Orleans. I've lived in Shreveport. I've lived in Houma. I've lived in 3 places. Well, a few places. In Louisiana. Texas, I've been out here for 6 years. It's getting more and more expensive because the Californians are coming here and all that shit. I don't want to live in California. I don't want to do that shit either. It's like, at my age, I've been in the film industry for 15 years. When I work, I work. When there's work, there will be work. I don't necessarily have to stay here to get work. And there's nobody telling me you have to live here to get work. No, I don't. I have properties. I don't need that. I need a place where I'm going to live. Florida has been expensive. I lived in Pensacola. It was stupid. You know what I mean? You can live on a cheaper end of Florida, or farther out, more rural, but you don't want that shit. You want to be where everything else is. But like, why would I want to go to Florida when I can go to DR? If I wanted to go to the beach, let me get a pretty sandy blue beach, that's cheap. I've lived in Brazil. Brazil's too far. It's in South America. I don't want to stay that far away, because if I do get work, I do want to be able to come back and work my job, whatever job I've booked, and then fly my happy ass back. Everything's direct deposit anyway, so I'm not really worried about, you know, getting a check or whatever. So, yeah, I'm not, you know, I mean, yeah, I'm not, I don't plan on selling. I could sell one of my properties, but no, I don't. It's no place that I really want to live here. I was looking at Hot Springs last year. Hot Springs is a smaller town, and I'm really getting more uh, hip to smaller places. If I was gonna move somewhere, it would be somewhere out, secluded. You know what I mean? You know, despite what I just said, well, I want to be where everything's at. Well, in Florida, you know, you want to see the beach, you want to see some chicks, you want to, yeah, you can do that, but nah, man, because the older I get, I'm like, you know what, I need some peace, I need some quiet. How's the brisket in Texas? Kayla Marie Cooper, it's the best. It's the best. I don't really like brisket, honestly. I don't, because it's too heavy for me. That shit gives me heartburn. I've eaten enough brisket to last me a lifetime. I'm selling and moving to, is it Michoacan, Mexico, on the countryside. I don't blame you. See, everybody's flooding in here like, oh, opportunity. Yeah, it's for some people. Depends on what you do. If you're a carpenter, if you know how to build a house, yeah, you'll always get a job from somebody that knows how to hire you. But now it's getting a little tricky because they can always hire these guys for cheap. But the motherfuckers don't pay taxes. We pay taxes. I hate taxes. I hate them. I can't stand them, but it's a thing you got to do. Peace has an insane value. It does. I heard it was better in Texas, not like the UK meatloaf. I've never been, and I have to go to the UK. I got to check that out. But I mean, I'm just coming from a place where I've been there and done that. I'm not really, you know, I'm American, so I'm not just, you know, my take on America is a lot different than others, especially if you've lived other places and you've seen it. And you know what's there and you know what to expect, what's not. Now, if things change, you know you got to get the hell out of Dodge and bring your ass back. They take 40% off of money off the top in taxes before I even see it. Yeah. Taxes is a break. Man, look, man. Taxes was something created by the British. The British, you know, the colonialist did not want to pay taxes for the British, but so they beat the British and still made the same tax structure. It was the stupidest shit ever. What you make is what you're supposed to make. But anyway, I'm in a bad place myself. My wife just said she hates my meatloaf. Damn. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't bother going to the UK. Spend your money elsewhere. Damn. I remember about 15 years ago when the American dollar was real bad and like the euros were so much more, or the British pound was like twice as much as a dollar. So if you did go to the US, you'd be spending twice as much money going to the UK. I mean, it was crazy. But yeah, man, yeah, I was just chilling out today, man. Just chilling out. Come to Australia. You know, I heard of Perth is cool. You know where I want to go? I want to go to Canada. I want to go back. I've been to Canada a couple times. And like the chicks are fucking fine. And I've noticed that. Because I lived in Vermont, went to school in Vermont. So I used to go up there anyway, go to Montreal. But yeah, Australia, why not? See the world. Saw the world. So, you know, you never know, man.